Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Everything's Messy podcast. I am your messy host, Sarah. Today I have with me returning guest, Erynne Erdtsieck. Oh my gosh, so excited that she's here. Let me tell you guys, if you're a new listener or it's been a bit, go back and listen to episode 21. She goes into her full story of how messy it is and the things that have happened and, what kind of put her on this path and this journey to what she does now. And I'm so excited that she's here. Welcome, Erynne.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad the timing's right and we're back for round two.
Yes, part two. And not that the first episode wasn't completely impactful and so important, but, it was a little sad, right? We had to get through sort of the weeds to get to where we are now. And now I feel like this is sort of a little bit elevated from there. And You've been doing so much. Take us through that.
I do feel like I've been doing so much, and I hear that from a lot of people around me. But I will preface all of this with something I've learned about myself. And I learned this years ago after the passing of my mother, that's all I know how to do is to keep going. And truly just to put one foot in front of the other, even if it's the smallest foot, even if it's the smallest step. Small steps are big steps in the right direction. And that's, I think, my ultimate picture that I try to portray to whoever's listening or to whoever follows me or follows my story, is just truly to find your way to keep going.
Absolutely. And you talk about those small steps. They really are compounding of interest to get to that big step, right? And I have to point out really quick, we talked about it before we hit record, but we're twinning today.
We are twinning and I love it.
We didn't plan that. But for those of you that don't know, Erynne does have this wonderful, inspiring kind of journey that she went on. And it came from, like I had mentioned, a sad place, but she has turned this into positive and strength and she'll even tell you not every day is great, not every day is positive, and you got to ride those messy waves to get to the next level, or so to speak. But her whole sort of being is just keep moving, and that's what you've been doing.
Yes. So I don't know exactly where we left off from our last interaction. But did I even have product yet?
You hadn't, but it was coming. So Why don't you jump off there?
So I'm going to start there because I feel like I don't have it, but it's coming was years. I feel like I said those words for years, and truly the formulation, the packaging, and to get product in hand was a grueling 4-year process. And so when I knew I was kind of ending that part of the journey, I knew my product was coming. I did not have shipping confirmation. I did not have a ship date, but I knew it was on its way. And tragically, shockingly, right previous to that, we lost our dad. And so he was out of state. Thank you. And he was out of state at the time. So we were out of town, and I get back home and my product arrived 4 days later.
Oh my gosh.
So there I was in the middle of this tornado of grief, but also it had brought me further down because I do feel like I was getting to a better place with accepting of my mother's passing and talking about it, knowing I was building this company for her legacy. And then it's like I got knocked right back down, losing our dad. And then the product arrived, which I know was no coincidence. I know I would have to say both my parents had a huge partake in that. And
almost like, here's a gift. Here's what you've been working. Here it is.
Yes.
Yeah. And really quick, for those that don't know, the product that we're speaking about was a long journey of what you had gone through with lip cancer and discovering that there was not a product out there. There was no lip gloss out there that had stuff in it to protect your lips with.
Correct. So I had gone down when I was in my lip cancer journey trying to figure out how I was going to get through this. I had a really bad reaction to the chemo in which I literally burnt my lip off. And it was traumatic and extremely painful. And when I was kind of looking for something to help me, even to help me after the process, I wasn't finding what I was looking for. And so I decided I was going to create my own.
Which was a big, let's just pause right there for a moment. Having to get the approvals and the things that you had to walk through to get, this protectant ingredient into lip gloss.
Right.
Massive.
Yes. And the interviews I had with these labs, I felt like the smallest pea on their totem pole. And it was no after no after no after rejection after, we can't do that, until I finally found one that would, in a sense, partner with me, but help me create what I was looking for. And they were great. And I stuck with them because I knew I was going to have the best product out there. But it also just took forever. I just felt like I was never going to reach the end and actually have product in hand.
And just that journey alone, the roadblocks, just feeling the impossibleness of it all, right? And just, you see it in your mind. You're like, this is what I want to do and why and who it's going to benefit.
Right.
Why is there so much, resistance?
Yeah, I truly believe people just don't want to put the effort in to really getting that SPF in their product. I also believe that we're kind of in this wellness, I don't want to say trend, but wellness is being elevated and kind of being repeated all around me.
Definitely awareness. People are becoming more aware.
And so I think people, they're wondering what's in their products these days and what is this really doing to our skin? And specifically, what are you putting on your lips that is now being ingested into your system? And what is that doing to your, your psyche and your insides, let alone what is it doing for your mind?
Right.
And so I knew I was going to create this product. And I knew the brand with the bigger mission was going to support my mom's legacy in providing mental health awareness and suicide prevention resources and kind of tying in the entirety in self-care and taking care of you can support your mind, body, and soul.
100%. And we always are talking about that on this podcast. And, just watching kind of where you started from to where you've kind of become, and, the merchandise that you have now and how the proceeds go to these, campaigns to keep awareness out there. And I think, some of the posts that I see you post on social media, you're constantly talking about, don't stop talking about. Right. And I think that's sort of the other kind of thing that we're coming into. There's awareness about wellness, but there needs to be awareness on the other side. And it may not be as popular or people don't really want to think about it, but that exists and we need to talk about it.
I agree. And, that's been on my mind a lot lately. I think back and I think, it's not easy. It's not easy to talk about suicide. It's not easy to talk about how I lost my mother and now how I lost my father or the lip cancer journey, that I endured. None of that is easy, but I think if I can just help one person out there not have to go through what I went through, then I'm on the right path. Yeah. And I know my parents would be so proud.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, not only that, but for somebody to feel like, okay, I'm not alone in this.
100%.
Somebody else is feeling or going through this or have experienced what you've experienced, because I think we're missing that piece too. The active in and of itself. Okay, we talked about, but what about like sitting in it and now you have to live with that, and it's just more people need to be talking about it.
Right. And I think that people shy away from that because of the stigma and because there's such this negative aura around it. But when you think about it, we can bring that to the light. And that's another part of my mission is I know that as I've been going through this journey, I have felt very alone. And I'm sure people were sick of hearing my story, or maybe I didn't talk about it enough. But I feel like talking about it is so therapeutic for me that if I can support others in talking about it, it can also show them the light and be therapeutic for them as well.
100%. And it's a mission that you've chosen to take on, and it's definitely brave for sure.
Yeah.
But like I've said, you talk about it's not easy.
Yeah.
You don't have it all figured out. You're not out here saying, I've got the answers and this is what you need to do. No, I've seen you say, this wasn't a great day. Right. This happened. And I feel like that part is what people are clinging on to. We're not looking at these picture perfect things where everybody's got it figured out. And no, you're like, I'm still dealing with this. I'm sitting in it. And I would venture to say you're probably going to be dealing with it forever, right? And it's just how you're dealing with it.
It is how you deal with it. And I believe that grief in general, there is no timeline. And there is not even necessarily an end point where you're like, I've made it this far and now I've hit that milestone. I think it comes and goes. And yesterday I'm driving in my car and it hit me in odd ways or songs. And I also think those emotions, though, they do motivate me to keep going because I truly want to do everything I can to honor both my parents and this, life that they give in my sister and I is so special. And how else do I go on without honoring them in almost every decision I make? So I think that reminding people that they're not alone and reminding them that there is no timeline and that it's okay. It's okay. We're human, and these emotions are what make us human. We're not robots. And I think some people get caught up in the hustle and bustle or the competition race and don't realize that it's wherever you're at in your grief, your trauma, your challenges, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But do recognize or find a way to recognize that there is light. There is light that can be reached.
100%. So, and part of it too, I had somebody that spoke about grief earlier. And one of the things they talked about was she sometimes felt like she couldn't talk about her grief because it made other people feel uncomfortable. And that's so sad to me because why can't you take a minute and feel that uncomfortableness for somebody else? Because guess what? At the end of the conversation, you probably get to walk away from that uncomfortable part of the conversation. They don't. So be human, reach out, be there. There probably isn't anything that you can say to make it better for them. So don't try, but just listen,
Right. And I will give this little tip that I had learned after the passing of my dad. I had a dear friend and she would check in on me once in a while, but she would always say, I understand you don't have to respond. And almost just give you that okay, to not feel like you have to pretend you're okay or to pretend like, you're in a good place at that moment in time, but just to know that they're there if you do need them. And so I've even carried that with me with other friends that have gone through some grief journeys. And just a little tip for those out there who have someone they know or have lost a loved one or obviously or know somebody that they've lost somebody.
Yeah, no, that's, and I commend you for going on this journey and the things that you're doing. So talk a little bit about, I think there's 8 lip gloss now.
There's 3 lip glosses.
3 lip gloss.
There is 3 lip liners.
Okay.
And then there's the lip scrub.
Okay. I knew there was a lot of product. Wasn't sure which.
Yes. So we have expanded the line. There is, also a mental skincare lip bag. If you do choose to get the entire set, you get a cute checkered mental skincare lip bag. So I stuck with the lip products specifically to stick with my lip care journey and to remind people to take care of their lips, because I feel like more and more when I talk to people about my journey and I ask them about their SPF, 90% of the time, people will say, I put sunscreen on my face. I never forget putting it on my face, but I just don't put it on my lips.
Yeah.
And so for whatever the reason, let's say the taste or the product or the feel, or we just don't know, we don't put it on our lips. And unfortunately, more times than not, by the time we realize we need it there, it's too late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And
So,
I remember you talking about this too. When you started this, wasn't it kind of interesting to find out that no other products had like that? You would seem that would be, I mean, I'm glad for your sake that you're able to bring it, but that's kind of mind-boggling.
It was very mind-boggling. And I thought, this is either going to work or it's not going to work. I did find one on the market at the time, and this again was a few years ago, but it was orange. It was like this interesting orangey, burnt sienna type color
that all girls love.
Yeah, and I think it was ultra sticky, if I can remember correctly. And I thought, I won't wear this. And the chapstick wasn't doing it because that's what I was doing before I had the lip cancer diagnosis. And so that's how I decided to intertwine my mental health and lip care journey and just create my own. So yes, I have a line now, and it's the 3 colors: impact, inspire, and intent. So all of my names are also very intentional and in the importance of uplifting others and really showing that you can change your mindset with the simplest moves. And when I say that, I mean the simple swipe of a gloss is not necessarily that this gloss is going to change your life and you're going to have an aha moment, but it is that you're going to swipe on this gloss and you're going to remember that you taking that simple moment for you really can set you up for success, can remind you of your strength, can remind you of your badassery.
Absolutely.
Can make you feel good, make you feel put together to really take on your day and to hit your struggles head on.
Yeah, because the self-care is what, to me, there isn't much difference between remembering to drink all the water you're supposed to drink and taking care of what is exposed to the sun pretty much all day long.
All day long. Your lips are there and they're so sensitive.
So as we're talking about your product, I know one of the things you're really proud of what you're able to do is what your product is made up of. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what's in the product?
That's correct. I am so passionate about being in the clean beauty space and was so specific when I was creating this product to make sure I was mineral-based, paraben-free, water-free, fragrance-free. Therefore, knowing that what is going on your lips is truly not going to, can't think of the word. Like
add to, like toxic chemicals and things like that.
Yes. I definitely wanted to be toxin free, which I don't really feel like until now people are really looking into the ingredients of what they're putting on their skin, on their face, on their eyes, on their lips. But to really embrace the cruelty free and the clean beauty space for your lips.
Yeah. Well, and like you had said too, because you're also sort of ingesting it, even if you don't mean to. And so that's going into your body. And so the cleanest that it can be is going to be the most beneficial.
100%. And this is an interesting point too, is I've had some people, when are you going to come out with a clear? When are you going to do a clear? Which I too wanted to create a clear. But for everyone who's been asking, you can't get to a clear color with a mineral SPF.
Interesting.
It would only be chemical.
Yeah. So we don't want that.
So we will not have a clear. We're close with our impact color, but it's not clear.
There you go. Well, and that's good information to know. Yeah. And so all of the people that maybe do like the clear lip gloss, if you take a gander at what's in there, you may change your mind. Yeah.
It's been an interesting journey, even being new to the beauty space and really learning all the things that I have about the ingredients and about really creating a clean product.
Yeah. Well, sounds like you're doing really well. And those of us that are into the, better ingredients, non-toxic stuff, so appreciate the clean ingredients for sure.
Yeah. And so interesting that we're deciding to film this now, because here we are in Mental Health Awareness Month and also Skincare Awareness Month.
Amazing.
So here we go. I'm going to sing my message loud, probably more this month than before, but you've got to, take those small steps to take care of yourself and it really will support your mind, body, and soul.
Very much so. Very much so. And so, on top of the lip line and everything, you do have this wonderful merch that I love. So this is the second sweatshirt I have. The first one is the tie-dye cut, like pink color one.
Yes.
And the messages that you put on the back, I don't know, is that like something that you journaled and you just felt like it needed to be printed? Where did those come from?
The message on the back, it was something that I had been just writing, and it was, hey, you, if you're reading this, the world is a better place with you in it. And I thought, what better message than to remind people that the world needs your magic. The world needs you here.
And to that, I can't even count. I've been in the grocery store. I've been at gas station. I can't even tell you how many people have actually said, like literally got my attention and said, that just made my day.
Yes.
Just that mess. And it was like, well, and like the first time I was like really blown away.
Yeah.
And now it's been like 15 or 20 and I'm just like, yeah, good. I'm so glad I met you, what you needed to hear. But it's so simple, yet so powerful.
The smallest reminders really can make somebody's day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And, so,
I would pray after. I would be like, I really hope they had a better day reading this,
Yeah, so I agree. And so putting it on the back, that kind of just sends the message because you're reaching more people. And that's the whole point. And so, yes, I too, when I get thanked or someone says, I love your sweatshirt, it just warms my soul because that's the whole reason I created them. And I have also had people say, gosh, you wear your clothing every day. And that is also the truth. I am in it. I love it. Yeah, I love the message it sends. And I'm grateful that, I'm on this journey here.
Yeah, no, it's been just like I said, to kind of sit back and see the progression has been truly amazing. And
thank you.
So people, when they purchase it, right, there's a certain percentage of it that goes to, I'm trying to remember, is it just one charity that it goes to?
It goes to, 5% of every purchase will go to a mental health charity. If none are chosen, it will go to the With Hope Foundation, which is a suicide awareness and resource center who I've worked with them for many, many years, and they have so many very supportive resources for anyone who feels suicidal or knows somebody who may be suicidal. They have hotlines that are open, throughout the day, and they just have so many great resources. And even to find the signs in kids and others, I think is huge. So your donation will go there unless you choose your own mental health initiative, and the 5% will go there.
Okay. And we'll put the particulars like the hotline and everything in the show notes. Yeah, but it's so important. And I think, a lot of times we see these bigger brands or these bigger companies, they do give back and it's something like that. But you don't often get to see like what happens. But you work with this organization. You get to see who it's helping. And that's incredible.
Yes. And I see how many lives out there it touches. And I can't be more thrilled to work with such a great organization. And so having them as kind of a partner in this has been really uplifting and comforting.
Yeah.
Again, to also, embrace that you're not alone.
Yeah. And I think, especially as women, I think sometimes we're like, we don't need help. We can do it on our own. We're fine. Or we don't want to bother anybody. But sometimes, especially when we can be aware of it or start to recognize it, we do, and it's okay. Yeah. It's okay to ask for help.
Okay. Yeah.
And
it's okay.
And there's no shame to it. It's not, doesn't make you, like asking for help, I think in a lot of us, I know, especially me, was sort of seen as weak. Like, I'm not going to be weak because if I ask for help, then they'll see me as weak. I can't handle my stuff. That's not true at all. That really actually ended up hurting me more than if I would have just said, I need help.
Right. And that's another one of the messages that I try to drill home is that the strength is in there. But sometimes you do have to ask for help, reach for help, find those resources just to pull you out of that moment. And if I can provide those resources, which we do have on our site as well, there's a bunch of free resources and also a spring reset survival guide as well, a free downloadable PDF.
Go ahead and give your site. Give yourself.
I feel 100% that I don't want to be that brand that is just talking the talk. I actually walk the walk. I provide the resources. I am real with my sayings and my ups and downs in my life, and don't want to just paint the picture of unicorns and rainbows because it's so far from that, you know?
Yeah. And let everybody know what the site is. Tell everybody this.
Mentalskincare.com. Yeah. And then the Instagram is mental.skincare.
Yeah. And like I said, we'll put that all in there, but sometimes it's nice to be like, they're listening. Just like I'm going to repeat again, to get a deeper sense of her story, please go back and listen to episode 21. It was an amazing episode. We talked at length about everything that she's mentioning now. So make sure you do that. And then exciting things coming down the pipeline.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I have so many things brewing. So here I am in my new mental skincare office, which I am so grateful for. And actually, if you could see these things behind me, so special to my heart. My sister and I had kept some things that were very important to actually both my mom and dad. And so you'll find them here throughout the office. And so just coming here is so peaceful, and I feel supportive, and I feel like I can be at peace. And so I do have this new space. We are planning, if all goes well, an open house type launch party, and we'll have the product and some vendors, and you'll see some of the new product as well. And then also, I did want to touch on this. I kind of have a new avenue that was just brought to my attention recently by a neurosurgeon. And it was after one of my posts about how many times I've been scrutinized for thinking that I'm going to succeed with bringing mental health into the beauty space. And this doctor came to me and he said, 100% the neuroscience is there. And there has been the testing done on what taking care of you, what self-care really does to the neurons in your brain, and how it really, truly scientifically is supported that it can uplift your mood.
That's incredible. That's amazing.
It can change your mindset. So not only, once I dive a little bit deeper into that, not only will I be able to speak from experience and my life and my mission, but I will have scientifically proven that taking care of yourself, the swipe of the lip gloss, really can change the neurotransmitters in your psyche.
Amazing. That gives me chills, and it must you too.
It's crazy
because we kind of, maybe subconsciously know this, right? We know when we, take a little more effort, maybe put on our false eyelashes or something, those little things, we do feel like if something happens, there's a transformation. So then to know that the science is there, the
science is there, and the studies are there. And so those have all been brought to me. I haven't dug too deep into that yet, but I am so excited to start bringing that to the world as well.
That's amazing. And then you talked about your open house. Do you have a location maybe where you're going to do that?
It's going to be here.
At the office?
It is going to be here at the office. Correct.
Want to say where it's at?
I'm in Laguna Hills. It's called Laguna Hills, but I'm South Orange County. I'm not towards the beach, though. Some people think we're beachy. And I'm pushing towards the middle of July. My goal, my intent was to do it during this mental health skin cancer awareness month, but I won't have it done in time. I won't be ready.
That's okay. That's okay. Remember, we have to have that organic development, because anything forced it just won't feel authentic. And that's what I feel like you are all about, is being authentic and real and raw. And that will show. And if it's July, that's okay. And you're close enough to the beach. You're close enough.
It's true. It's true.
I do more inland.
Another thing exciting that we have been working on is the wholesale end of my business. And we now have the wholesale kit is ready to go. So there have been a few med spas that have been interested so far. So we're working on the med spas and salons. And even I've had some therapist office who I didn't know that was going to end up being my clientele, but they've been really interested in the product and the impact that it can make on their clients. So
again, going back to the science, where that swipe of the lip gloss makes you feel a little better. And
Correct.
even if only temporary, you stand a little taller, right? You just feel a little better. And that
Right.
kind of sets you up, like you said, for your day, to have that confidence during your day. And that's all part of self-care.
Yeah. The simple things.
Yeah. That's it's exciting. It's amazing, Erynne. I'm so glad you had the time to come back on and talk about what you're doing. I wish you all of the luck and everything. And July's not that far.
Right.
So
I will keep you posted.
Yeah. I will definitely. I'd love to meet up with you in Laguna and see everything. That would be amazing. So
I appreciate that. I always appreciate all the support. And something that I love about your podcast is how easy it is to talk with you. So I am forever grateful, and looking forward to what the future holds.
Yes, absolutely. And to you as well, you have such an amazing story, and it's not easy to tell. And you do tell it with such grace and such power behind everything that you say. And people resonate with that. They really do. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad to have this opportunity with you. And hopefully we'll see you very soon.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.